There is a cult persona that you develop when you go into a cult. You know, as you go deeper down into, like, after the bait, the covert, like when you're in fantasy number 4, there is a cult persona. The real you is buried beneath there somewhere. And now you have this way that you're behaving. You're in this kind of euphoric fantasy, as you call it. But down beneath the real you, you have less and less and less access to. So you're not aware of all the trauma and stuff you're struggling with. So the problem with the panic attacks was buried down there. The person I was now, that I thought was a better person, didn't have the panic attacks.
Yeah.
In 2017, when I left and I realized these fuckers are going to destroy my life, all the panic attacks came back. Because then I accessed again how traumatized I was, how emotionally disemboweled I felt.
So it's almost like that part of you that was in the cult was so obedient, it would let go of phobias. It would just obey and cease to have a phobia.
Pretty much. I mean, you know, they talk about, the experts talk about, you know, this cult personality, and it is it's kind of an alternate, lesser version of you that you're living in.
This is upsetting to me. Experts already talk about this.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why this is upsetting to me?
Yeah.
Because when I did the seminar in London a week ago, 5 days before, I thought I uncovered that narcissistic abuse victims developed a split personality.
Well, they don't talk about it as a split personality. They talk about it as a cult personality. And it is a split personality.
Dissociated.
Dissociated, yes. Yeah. Yes. It's basically, there's the version of you that you become, which you think is a fuller version, and it's not.
I'm very upset by this.
I'm
I
sorry.
really thought it was mine.
Yeah.
I was like, I told my mum. I was like, so I was staying at my mum's house to do the seminar. I'm like, you're in the presence of a genius. I figured this out. So cult psychology they know this. They know that you're being a new person in the cult.
Yes, but the thing is, there's so little cult psychology out there, and there's so few people that understand this.
Really?
Very few people understand this. Most people do not understand this.
Okay.
There's some experts that have written books. I'm telling you, there's like, I can count on here. This is the number of people that have written amazing books about this.
Okay.
About cult psychology.
Right.
There. That's it.
Sorry.
You know?
Yeah. So there's like 5 big experts in cult psychology.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot that narcissistic abuse psychologists and cult psychologists would get from each other.
So much. They would get so much from each other.
But this issue of the other personality, I got it from, she's a psychoanalyst called Melanie Klein. Freud came up with the idea that you as a subject split the object. So I would split you. Mark is altogether good, altogether bad. Melanie Klein comes along and she says, yes, but in order to split Mark good and bad, I have to split my own ego. So now, in order to relate to you as your good and bad parts, I have to develop good and bad parts. So I saw that and I was like, oh, it's all splitting.
Yeah.
So narcissistic abuse, the recovery from narcissistic abuse is hard because who shows up to therapy? The sort of the authentic self shows up to therapy, but the person who was with the narcissistic abuser isn't showing up to therapy.
Yeah.
So we have to integrate. The therapeutic treatment has to undo the split, has to reintegrate the split.
Yes.
In order for there to be any proper authentic development. So I'm excited to hear that this has already been developed.
And the way that they describe it is, when you leave a cult, you have to find out who the authentic self is. You know?
Same.
That's what you have to do.
Exactly.
And so what happens is, you're out of the environment, you don't have the same triggers and the same fears, you're not going to get punished and whatever, and you don't have the reinforcement of the mindset. And slowly but surely you have to ask yourself questions like, what do I like?